start the recording. Let's see here. All right, you're all set.
All right. I now call to order this regular meeting of the Roby Consolidated Independent School District of the Board of Trustees. Today is Monday, June 8th, 2026. The time is now 6 p.m. Roll call. Brent Whitefield is absent. Kevin Kelly is absent. Dakota Raspberry is present. Annie Carrion's present. Carter Edmondson present. Stormy Raspberry present. Michelle Terry is present. Kevin couldn't be here due to some delays in airplane travel, so he left me with running the meeting for him. I verify we have a quorum of board members present in the boardroom per provisions of the Texas Open Meetings Act. Mr. Bennett, will you verify that we comply with the Texas Open Meetings Act provisions concerning the notice of this meeting?
Yes, sir, we did.
Carter, would you lead us in an invocation, please?
Yes, sir. Father, we just come to you. We thank you for this day. Lord, we thank you how you've nourished our land with rain. And so, Lord, we just thank you for this community and this school and the people and the students that you've placed in our care. And so, Lord, as always, we recognize we don't know and we don't have all the answers. And we ask, Lord, that you would give us wisdom, that you give us ears to hear and understanding. And then, Father, being the willingness to make decisions that sometimes isn't pleasing to everybody. But we ask for your guidance ultimately so that these young people that you placed in our care would have an opportunity to be prepared to face the world that we live in. Lord, we ask you to be with us tonight. Watch over us in all we do. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
All right. Mr. Bennett, do we have any registered comments or speakers at this time?
Yes, sir, we do.
One of the district's tenants is in communication. We are now at the time of the meeting where the board may hear from the public. Speakers are required to register prior to the board meeting and provide the board agenda item or topic they wish to speak. Each speaker has 5 minutes to speak. And when you start to speak, your time will begin. When your 5 minutes has ended, you will hear a sound. We'll start with Kenny Border.
Good evening. I'm gonna sit down so I can do some check marks. I came here tonight to let you know why Roby CISD shouldn't consolidate with Rotan ISD. After much reflection, I've determined that that is not acceptable for me to say. About 2 months ago, I sold my land interest in Roby CISD. Last July, I left Roby CISD to chase the love of my life. Why have I chosen to drive 4 hours for 3 minutes or 5 minutes, however you want to say it? I truly love Roby CISD, the community of Roby, and the people who make up this piece of God's country in Fisher County. I'm going to present questions to you for your consideration as you decide on this extremely important decision. The questions are, number one, what were the snapshot numbers for 24-25 and 25-26 for both districts? I have copies of these if you desire them, so you don't have to write the questions down if you want them. What was the average daily attendance for both districts for 25-26? What was the overall budget for each school district in comparison to its foundation school program for 25-26? What is the reserve fund balance for each district after budget amendments for 25-26? Has either district had an increase in revenues recently? If so, which one or both? And what are these revenue increases? What is the bond indebtedness of each district? What does each district bring to the table as it relates to a possible consolidation? What would the board makeup be in the event that the two districts consolidate? Would each district have 3 members and there be one at-large position, or what would that makeup be? What is the overall benefit of consolidation for both districts, for each district? How would a reduction in staff be addressed as a result of a consolidation? How would facilities be utilized in the event of a consolidation? Each of you has an important decision to make. I pray for each of you to gain clarity, understanding, and a peace of mind as it relates to this matter. God bless you, and God bless the Roby Lions.
Thank
I'm
you.
finished.
Thank you.
I don't know.
I want to comment.
I'll have one as well.
You can't comment. Opposing comment.
Sir,
What do you say, sir?
one of these documents. Our next speaker is Lloyd Lacoste.
I signed only hoping that we were going to speak after y'all had discussed the item. So at this point, I've declined to speak.
All right, next is Ted Posey.
I'd like the board to look into the fact of benefits that could amount to the students by the number of students in each class, and therefore other classes could be adopted into the system that would benefit both school systems if they were consolidated. I think that's one of the number one things is we look at the involvement in sports even. I watched baseball, and there in particular, I noticed where we're running short on players. And they run, you know, Rotan had a girl on their team, and then Roby run short on players, and about one or two subs. So, you know, you could have a better overall program with all of them involved in that. Also, I think it probably would be involved in 11-man football rather than 6-man. So whether that's beneficial or not, I'm not for sure, but at least you'd have numbers that you could play 11-man football with. We have a few students that are slow learners in both school systems. And with that, you'd have a little more time for teachers. The individual teachers that could be involved in those classes with those slow learners that maybe you have at this present time. As I think back, my wife grew up in Roby, I grew up in Rotan. There's so many couples like that that are involved that way. Even my mother-in-law and father-in-law, the same deal. So how we get along, I don't see a problem with getting along. And when I look at involved with that, I start all the way back to the Macaulay bus wreck. We had community, not Roby School or Rotan, or when you go to help, where you from? It was we all worked together in the community to help each other. And I think that was what was so important. I know of one 8th grader at Rotan, and the temperature was 35 and below when they went down to strip that cotton, and he was on an open tractor. Student 8th grader at Rotan, so I know that for a fact. Also, we notice we have the gyms have come together. And that's kind of unusual. You know, we have adults that work together. Also, I noticed that we have our stock show, and I was so surprised that it was at Rotan this year, part of the stock show. And I didn't see anything unusual that caused a problem with that occurring that way. So we've got people that can cooperate together. And I think the main thing is that, when we look at, I think back to 1970 when I started coaching. I coached here 9 years, and I coached at Rotan 20. In 1970, my son was a 10-year-old and needed to play Little League football. I was going to school here at Roby. Billy Henderson, my wife, was working cooking hamburgers at the hamburger joint here. And he said, come over to Rotan and play with Little League ball. Rotan had 4 teams, and Roby didn't have any Little League football, baseball, I mean. All right, I go over there and I'm assistant coach as a 10-year-old with my son. The next year he says, come to the meeting at Rotan and get Roby kids coming into the Little League system over there. I said, nah, I don't need to do that, so I didn't do it. And they didn't do it even, I don't guess they brought it up. Well, when my son was 12-year-old, he said, you gotta come to the meeting. I went to the meeting at Rotan, not one word was said. And they allowed the Roby kids to come in and start being a part of the Little League system. And they were part of that Little League system, and some of you may have been in that day and time. So that's where that took place. And I didn't see a problem with anybody working together in that regard. So when we look at trying to come together as a community, and that's what we're involved in, is a community effort to make the school system better. So that's my purpose being here. I think one of the things I might point out, we had kids break in the church up here 3 or 4 times, and finally put a camera up, had to identify them. At the same time, things go on at Road 10. You know, they have problems there with kids. I had 3 8th grade, no, they were juniors, 3 juniors that started drinking before a basketball game I was coaching here at Roby. I didn't realize it. I'm innocent. I didn't think about them doing that. After the game, I found out and kicked them off the team. At the same time, I'm at Road 10 in the classroom, and 2 boys come in at dinner, out of here, and we kicked them out of the program again there. So I'm just using illustrations that it's not one community is any better than the other community. It happens in both of them. And those are things that I can point out. One of the things I want to
Mr. Posey?
kind of unusual.
That's your 5-minute time limit. Yes, sir. Thank you. Next, we have Terry McWilliams.
I just want to say, I think we have a good school at Rotan. I have grandkids there. I think we have a good school at Roby. I have grandkids here. And I think if we were to consolidate, we would have actually a great school for our whole county, our communities. I think that could all come together and work well. I think as being consolidated, that we can offer more classes to the kids, a different variety of things that maybe they're not having now. We would have more kids participating in the UIL contests, one-act plays, all that. For one thing, the kids at Roby, if we kept all the things that both schools have, some of the kids can play volleyball that maybe are not good at basketball or track or things. They get the opportunity to play volleyball. And they would also have band. I remember when we had band at Roby, which was a wonderful thing, and they have band at Rotan, which would benefit Roby to have band. Rotan would be able to have a girls softball team. It would help our Roby softball team because this year I think they had 1 sub. There was a time or 2 they had to pull somebody else out, talk them into playing when somebody couldn't be there. And we could have enough girls for a softball team. I know the last 4 years we have not had a JV girls basketball team. With both of them combined, we could have JV basketball, which would be a great thing for these kids that don't make varsity right off, coming right into high school or whatever. I think that would be a good thing. And the boys' basketballs, as the years goes on, we get less and less. So by the time the JV boys are nearly through the year, they barely got enough boys to play JV ball. So I think that would be a good thing too. I just think that we don't want to be like a neighboring district that has new school facilities, and in the future, we don't have enough kids to participate in those athletic facilities like this particular school district I'm thinking about doesn't have the numbers to utilize those new facilities that they've had a couple of years. I think also that, like Dad was saying, we have Little League and girls softball and baseball that they're playing together already. I know the 12U girls team, I think they only had 3 girls from Roby playing this year. So what does that look like a little down the road for our girls softball team? So we need those numbers, and we need to look at those things for the future to make sure that we got something for all the kids and not just, I'm not saying that athletics is the main thing, but we've got it for like vocational classes that we can offer these kids that maybe we don't have enough teachers. And as far as what was said earlier, I think that we've got a lot of kids that can,
you.
Do you want to give the option to those that showed up a little late?
We can.
I had a text asking how to get in there.
Yeah. Is there anyone else? It was supposed to cut off when the meeting started, but we don't want to, we want to hear. That's what we're here for. Is there anyone else that wanted to speak? Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'll say something. I'm Joe. I'm from here, whatever. I just want to see the numbers. I mean, Bennett sounded like he wanted to see all the numbers. I mean, so is that what we'd like to do? Oh, border, sorry. Bennett's over there. But anyway, but, I mean, this is not a meeting to consolidate today. This is a meeting to find out what it would look like. And I would like the board to push for that, so we can, either whatever they gotta do to try to put a committee and then, let the community decide. Don't leave it up to 14 people. But, I mean, if you get a committee together from, 3 from here, 3 from over there, to get some outsiders, somebody that can find all that stuff, and just put it together so we can see what it looks like. And if we don't like it, don't like it, it's fine, it's not a big deal. But that's what I would like to see.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
And I'll just say legally, the board can't respond to those comments, but there is an action item later where we'll take up whether to open that forum or not and send that survey out where they'll be able to share some of where they are. So just know they're not responding to you because they don't want to. Legally, they're not allowed to respond to public comment until we get to the person, part of action items. So, but thank you all for being here. We appreciate it.
All right, where are we at now?
Board progress monitor you should be right here.
Do you want me to ask them if they want to stay for the rest of the meeting?
Yeah. You're welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting. We're going to move forward. But again, if you want to stay and hear what they're going to say, that's great. We're going to go to board progress monitoring now. Michelle Cole, our elementary junior high principal, is at a conference today, but I'm going to get Brian to put up some of the testing results, and if you'll make it a little bigger there also. And we won't have her presenting as we would normally because she's out, but these are the end results from our end of year testing. I'm gonna let you guys look through it. Brian, if you'll kind of scroll through that small or slowly so that everybody that's in attendance can kind of take a peek. If you need us to make it bigger, please ask. We'd love to do that.
I'm sorry.
Some of this information will be shared at a later meeting so that she can kind of share some of the highlights. But testing overall was, our staff and teachers did an amazing job. We saw a lot of growth this year. We received our STAR scores in, and we don't have final results of all that, but really proud of our staff and our kids and the hard work they put in. So. All right.
We have a question.
You got a question? We're not allowed,
I don't know, am I allowed to ask a question?
not really during the meeting,
Okay.
but we would.
It's not about the other stuff, it's actually about the score.
Oh, yeah, well, go ahead, yeah.
I actually want to know, is there improvement with the three-quarter year? Was the three-quarter year successful?
We don't have all the final data, but we really look like,
It looks
I
like
can
it
tell you
is.
overall, and I'm gonna try not to talk educator speak,
Yes, sir.
but they give you a raw overall domain score for student success, and I know last year it was a 50, this year it's a 55. Now, that takes everything, the whole ball game into consideration, so there's definitely improvement. But I will say, we'll continue to look at that, because students being successful is number one.
And also on these scores, don't we set the bar higher?
We
for
do,
those-
because we're
for
looking
those
for kids
tests?
to meet, not just approach.
Yeah.
And so you'll see some of our scores, we really score them on, there's 3 levels when they take the state assessment: approach, meets, and masters. Approaching, they really don't use the word passing anymore, but that would be passing. But we really challenge our students to reach the meets level. Great question, thank you. All right, Zane?
All right, looking at the high school stuff, I was hoping Ms. Johnson would stick around, because I was gonna brag on her a little bit. But like you said, with the preliminary scores, not all, everything's set in stone. Algebra 1 at 95%, passing 38%, meets 38% masters. English 1, with Ms. Johnson was 100% pass, 76% meets, 10% masters. English 2 was our problem area last year. This year we were at 80% approach, so that was up 9% from the year before. Meets, we went from 43% to 68%. And then masters, we were at 0% last year, and we were up to 12% this year. Biology was 100% approach, 22% meets, 65% masters.
And that 22% meets might sound bad until you hear him say that last percentage, and 65% masters is a very, very good score.
And US history, 100% pass, 56% was met the meets, and 17% was masters. So they did a great job all the way around the board. I really want to commend the teachers for that hard work. Those really good scores. Kind of going into the highlights, end of the year was fast and furious. Just to recap, the high school was 3rd overall in UIL, had 9 students. Advanced the regional meet in San Angelo. One at play advanced to the area round, which is the second round. So you got past district by district and qualified for area. We had 2 students that qualified for state in base art competition. Kind of wrapping up, going into athletics just a little bit. We had 3 young individuals compete at this state track meet. Candy Loomis finished 3rd in the 3,200 meter, and has also successfully broken the school record in the 3,200 and the 1,600. We had a chance at the end of the year to celebrate 2 of our teachers that retired, and they're going to truly be missed, and hopefully I know their mentorship will continue, especially with these scores that you see. It's going to be hard to replace, but Ms. Coker and Ms. Upshaw, I wanted to recognize them for everything that they've done for a number of years here at Roby, not just in elementary or the high school, but the community, and what they're going to continue to do.
Thank you, Zane.
All right, now we'll go into the athletic director's report.
Everything was kind of wrapped up. So a little bit, I know this morning while I get this open, this morning when we had our strength and conditioning this morning, between the junior and high school, we had about 52, right at 52 kids there from 7th grade through 12th, and then this year we started up a 2nd grade through 6th grade strength and conditioning program to kind of get them involved in one. We can keep an eye on them and don't lose contact all the way through the summer, but there was about 35, 36 of those kids in here, so we got to see 90 kids today, which is awesome. I was out last week, and I was fired up about coming here and seeing that many kids up here working. We've got all of our coaches hired. They're all moved in, ready to work. We had eight coaches there this morning working with all these athletes, and I'm just really excited about where we're headed. We put out the baseball and softball district honors that last time. Just continue to build those relationships, not only in the classroom, but any chance we can get to build those relationships and make this place special.
How long is the one with the little kids? How, are y'all doing that all summer?
We are going to do it all summer, just in conjunction with the junior high and high school. So
want to say my kid's been pretty fired up about it. I was just telling Mr. Bennett earlier, Ray's at church camp. She was upset she was missing workout. And then she's got to go to Kalahari next week, so she was going to have to tell Coach Floyd why she was out 2 weeks.
Yeah, we're excited about having Coach Floyd and all the new coaches. They've been great addition. They're ready to work.
All right. Next, we'll go into the business and finance report.
Tammy?
Yeah, I'll wait for him to pull it up. So we're now reporting the month of April. So as we go through there, you'll see what percentages that we're at, as of the end of April. The revenue line, I know that we're getting pretty close on the property taxes. We are seeing obviously a decline in those deposits now. But as you go down, you can look at where we are on our percentages, throughout this, but I don't have anything new to report. If you have any questions on this, just let me know, and then we'll go to the next report.
Should be cash position, Brian.
You can hit the link under me for that one, yeah. So, this is the cash position. So between our general and our money market account, we have a total of $6,560,000, or $6,560,406.21. And I know that's usually what I report on those, and Brian, can you go to the next one? I think there was another one in that cash.
Yeah, there is.
position. What does that say up there? I can't see that far.
Cash receipts.
Cash receipts, okay. So, the total deposits for the general fund this month was $107,327.22. The interest just in our general account was $720.96. And then in our money market, we had $19,744.17 in interest. In our cafeteria fund, we had a total deposits of $14,674.39. And then total deposits for our debt service fund, $17,455.72. And we gained part of that, part of those deposits was the interest of $3,884.96.
Check register.
All right, and for our total expenditures, as you're going through it, let me know if you have any questions about any of the expenditures this month. But we had a total of $136,790.17 in all the funds.
Anybody have any questions? All right, thank you, Cammie. Next, we'll go into the superintendent's report.
All right, we finished the year with 310 students and attendance of 95.89%. Also want to let the board know that our teacher incentive allotment that we've been working on all last year was approved by the state. And so we'll go into a data collection year next year, and hopefully the following year, our teachers will start seeing significant raises through the teacher incentive allotment. If you don't know what that is, it's a new funding by the state where the teachers can make anywhere from $6,000 to $32,000 extra a year, depending on different measures that we set by a TIA committee that worked through the process this year. I commend our committee for working through that process, and also Mrs. Shoemaker for being our TIA lead, because again, we were accepted on the first try with no corrective actions needed. So we're looking forward to gathering that data next year, and hopefully the following year, some of our teachers will see the huge benefits of that.
Okay, any questions? Next, we'll go into our consent agenda items. previous board minutes and monthly tax report from Fisher County Appraisal District.
And there are two previous board minutes for you to review, a regular meeting and a special meeting.
We want to approve them all at the same time, or?
Yes, sir.
I'll make a motion to approve consent agenda items A and B.
I'll second.
All right, I've got a motion and a second. All those in favor, raise your hand. Any opposed? 5-0. Next, we'll move into regular agenda. Do we have any employment or resignations?
We're fully staffed, as Coach Grove just said. We have one position. We contracted some custodial services this last year so that we could have the school building cleaned in the evenings while teachers and students are not there. It's really, really difficult to do really good cleaning when everybody's in business. Unfortunately, the person we contracted with is having a baby in the fall and won't be able to continue. So we do have a custodial position that we're looking to replace that, or looking for somebody that might be interested in a contract service arrangement. But other than that, we're fully staffed. Thank the Lord.
All right, we'll move to agenda item B, discuss and possible take action to possibly approve TASB Board Policy Update 127.
Yeah. So most of this is from the last legislative session. I'm just gonna, these are, if you look at the comparison packet, Brian, if you'll pull that up and make it big, I'll kind of run through. Most of this, none of this is big policy changes. I would say that the big part of this policy update from TASB is anything dealing with DEI, anything in policy that dealt with DEI, and also some consequences for administrators if they try to implement DEI policies. And then there's some updated policy on our District of Innovation plan. It used to be posted in a certain place in policy, and TASB's recommended a move of that. And basically what the District of Innovation policy is, you can go on our website and read it, but it just deals with some things like the amount of time school days. It allows us, as you were talking about, to do the hybrid schedule. It allows us with our transfer policies to accept transfers, but also revoke transfers for students who may not be behaving properly immediately rather than waiting till the end of the year. It deals with a lot of stuff like that. So if you look through here, as he scrolls through that, those of you on the board, the easiest thing to look is see what's crossed out, and then what's crossed out in red has been taken out of policy, and what's written in blue is new language. There's some changes to superintendent non-renewal policies. The big one there is just talks about, it adds reasons for non-renewal. It talks about disability. It talks about not otherwise protected by law that prevents the superintendent from doing or from performing the essential functions of the job with or without reasonable accommodation. That's the only thing that's added to the whole policy. It also talks about, under superintendent non-renewal, engaging in or assigning another individual, whether intentionally or knowingly, an instruction, guidance, or activities programming prohibited by law. Again, common sense stuff that again, they addressed in the last legislature, talked about superintendent contracts, and it's just updating some of that. I don't want to point out anything else that may be big, but there's really not much huge in this one. You'll see a lot of the red crossed out in the bottom because that's just a new adoption date for policy. It takes out, when you post vacancies, it says the superintendents or designee. It took out or designee when you're posting, or shall establish guidelines for advertising employment opportunities, only because the superintendent has right to delegate that anyways. So they thought that it was a waste of language. They've also added the code of ethics, and it'll be under DHA legal. That's still dealing with added ethics to policy also. Again, one of the big laws that they talked about was the new accountability system and misconduct portal for educators. This is all dealing with that and allowing, telling you, and adding code of ethics, teacher code of ethics into policy. It took out and changed, if you look, Brian, at page, it's not giving me a page number. Go all the way to the bottom of the attachment. Go to TASB update comparison packet. Go a little lower. It's the attached items. Go over to the right. I think you're going to have to find it. No. Okay, it's on the left there somewhere. It's got the attached items. But anyways, it changes principal qualifications. There's, again, not huge change to that except for DEI policies and things like that. Any questions from me? It is, yes, sir.
I'll make a motion to approve TASB Board Policy Update 127.
I'll start.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, raise your hand. Passes 5-0. All right. Item C, discussion and possible action to open a community feedback forum regarding the potential consolidation of Roby CISD and Rotan ISD. The board will discuss and consider opening a public feedback and information gathering process regarding the potential consolidation of Roby CISD and Rotan ISD. This forum process is intended solely to gather input, questions, concerns, and perspectives from community members, parents, students, staff, and other stakeholders. No decision regarding consolidation is being made at this time, and opening the feedback process does not commit the district or board to pursuing consolidation. The purpose of the forum is to ensure transparency, encourage community involvement, and allow the board to better understand stakeholder perspectives before considering any future discussions or actions.
Any discussion, guys? Anybody? Discussion?
I'll just say thank y'all for coming to speak up on the consolidation deal. There was a post on Facebook that stirred up a bunch of stuff. I just wanted to clarify to a bunch of people that this whole thing, the whole talk of consolidation stems from the IREN project. It's a data center project going out in Capitola, Texas. Reading through comments and this and that, just seeing what the public's had to say, there's a lot of misconstrued data going around about this whole deal. And we can shake it to the side or we can say what we want. This whole consolidation talk came up because of the IREN data project and the possible implications that it could do for the community. They've already donated money for some different programs. However, I was a big advocate for this in 2018. Took some impact to the family, some different things, but I advocated for this. The meeting in 2018, you were probably there. We were in the auditorium. There was a lot of kickback. And there was one person that spoke up in favor of it. And the difference in 2018 and now was I wanted to get ahead of this thing because two different school districts took on pretty big bonds for the community, speaking size-wise to what we were ever used to. And at that time, there was one person that spoke in favor of it. There was no feedback from Rotan. There was no one really for it for Roby. Talked to both sides, got a lot of friends in both communities. I went between both trying to advocate to push this thing. So to the viewers that are on Facebook, there's not a people here. There's different types of bonds. There's INS bond, which is your interest in sinking funds. That's what you build school districts on. That's what the government does infrastructures and builds with. And then there's M&O, because we got a lot of pushback. Why didn't we use $12 million to fund teachers and give pay and increases? And you can't do it. It's illegal. You just don't. You can't do it. So there's a lot of uneducated people when it comes to items like this that don't research it and see the difference between bonds and what they actually do and what you can do for your districts and communities and whatnot. I feel like there's a lot of misconstrued information about the amount of money. We don't even have the tax values for this place yet. IREN's out on 611. If you want to go see, it's obviously being built. It could stop at any time. We don't know if it's government subsidized. We don't know what's going on. Honestly don't. All these started popping up after Stargate was announced in Abilene, and they've rapidly grown. If you watch any kind of news, you see the amount of communities that are pushing back against data centers because of the amount of water consumption and stuff that they're using. I really feel like right now the cart is before the horse. I mean, we're pushing all this. The communities are getting stirred up over something. We don't even know the amount of money. So say you consolidate a bond, which would be an INS bond. It's not Roby getting $150 million of free cash to do whatever they want to do. You're not. If you do this, you have to pass a bond, then you have to go through the process of building or whatever you decide to do. But what if this money never comes and two school districts consolidate that we're doing this based off of money, primarily for a school district? There's reasons we should do everything, and I've been talking about this for a good bit now, and I ran on it in 2018. It's doing right by the taxpayers with these other bonds that we passed, and Rotan recently, I think they got another half bond passed to do some more updates. But I don't personally feel like this is appropriate to even be discussing when we don't even have information put before us as a board, evaluations on what this could even do. I mean, it could be from 10 million to 7 billion. I don't know, I can't tell you. Nobody can tell you. The closest one that can tell you anything is gonna be the one at Childress, which is about half the size scope of work that this one was. And it's not even fully operational. So I just want the public to get a little more knowledge of what's being said and what is going on and the truth and the facts behind everything that's being said. Because it's not Roby CISD getting $150 million in cash from IREN data center. That's not how this works. I'm not gonna say I would never be for it. I'm just gonna say at this point, I cannot consciously move forward with anything until I can present some actual numbers to the community, to us. I mean, it's a big decision that weighs on both communities and both districts, and it's not something so simple as just saying, and I get where everyone's coming from with, let's look at values, let's see this and that. A quick search shows that we're in 7 million in debt, Rotan's in 17 million in debt. That's on Google. It's school data. We can see it. Numbers, I mean, I feel like we're pretty healthy as a school here. I just don't want us to get out in front of something and start rushing something this big and not be able to have we want our educators to educate our students. Well, I gotta be educated before I can get behind any kind of motion like this. But I did want to say thank y'all for coming and speaking and being a part of this and talking about it. There's other avenues for the public to do polls and get community input and different things without it going through the school system. And I'd rather just both communities get back to positivity. A lot of stuff got stirred up in 1 week from a post, and I've heard about it all week, and I've dreaded coming to this meeting because of it, because I was a huge advocate for this in 2018, and I pushed it within friends in each communities, and right now, without me having the data in front of me and the tax valuations, I can't get behind it. So that's what I have to say.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Our agree with Stormy. I think, why are we talking about something now that we don't even know what kind of money's gonna, he made a great point, we don't even know what's coming in. And so we're gonna look at consolidation, we're gonna open up the talks. The talks, as we know, I'm sorry, they pit people against each other. People get upset, people feel strongly about this, one way or the other. I said, I don't know the Rotan-Roby rivalry thing, I don't get that. I graduated from Hamlin, my kids have friends in Rotan. I have great friends in Rotan, we do business with Rotan, so it's not a thing like that you're against any town or any community. But it's just, there's really no point in talking about it right now when we don't even know the numbers. And I mean, I'll speak up, overwhelmingly, the people that have spoken to me have been against it. But are people not speaking up? I mean, tonight, we had a lot of people speaking for it. We had one person speaking against it. So, but I just think, at this point, we don't need to be pitting neighbor against neighbor over something that may not even happen. That's where I stand.
Anybody else?
I think for the majority, there's great people in both communities, you know, we have friendships, and it's a lot bigger, and I think we're all, you know, would do anything if one or the other was in need, but I think we're kind of in agreement with the unknown, and the way this all got started is some of our board was approached to consider and have a conversation, and so they brought it to that to us, and, you know, we're willing to listen, you know, we don't want to miss anything, and that's what we thought we were gonna do, and then, like some of the others, I've got a lot of information that was not positive in this last week, because, you know, people just took off with whatever, you know, that's human nature, I get it, but, I think we're pretty much in consensus, you know, I don't think anybody's against anything or anybody, it's just, there's a lot of unknowns, and this, you know, there's positives, there's negatives, but it's not a simple thing, and especially with the legalities of everything, and even if things do go a certain way, it's just not that simple to just take a vote and make a decision, and that's what we're gonna do. Because you're trying to be beneficial, and what can happen is you can end up destroying two communities instead of benefiting, and that's the last thing we want to do. And all of us, and especially us, is we do care about our neighbors, but first of all, we have to make sure that we're doing right by what we're called to do, you know. And if our neighbors are in a bind and struggling and it's not a good situation, then that's a whole different conversation. But to just try to make a decision based on what might happen, because government stuff and programs, if the wrong guy gets shot tomorrow, they could pull the plug on all of it. And then, that's been mentioned, but then you have placed everybody in a very negative aspect that you won't be able to get out of, because then you're gonna be in debt that you could never make up for with people. Because then the money would be on the people and not on a program that hasn't even paid anybody money yet, besides some bonus for a few people that they're trying to befriend in these communities. But we're very thankful for input, and we thank you for your care, because you care about your community, and we value that. We thank you for showing up. I will say there was several people contacted me about coming to the meeting that were not positive, and I advised them if they would not come, because the last thing we wanted was some kind of, you know, people butting heads and getting upset at each other, because that's not what we want to be a part of.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so now we've got the agenda item out
Yeah.
for to have a motion made?
It'll be tabled.
And if there's not a motion, we'll just table agenda item C. Next, we'll move into agenda D, discuss and possibly take action to increase the district health insurance contribution from $353 per month to $389 a month.
I feel like we talk about this every year. Insurance costs go up every single year. And so this move is to keep our lowest paid employees above the poverty line. And so we're increasing this amount so that we make sure that we help our staff. You know, some of our staff that are on lower salaries, we want to make sure we take care of them. This is going to cost the district somewhere between about $20,000 and $25,000 for the year. We were lucky and blessed to be able to hire a live Spanish teacher this year, which is going to save us about $33,000 is what we were planning for the online program. And so we feel like we can pay for this with that and help our students, or help our staff. And this, Cammie, tell me if I'm wrong, but I think this will keep only raise our staff contribution by $11.
Yes,
Yep.
that's correct.
Will this be put on this year or next year's?
This coming year, yes, sir.
So it'll go on the 26, 27 budget?
Yes, sir. There are a lot of schools that are dealing with this because it's just so expensive, and they're giving a certain amount of percent or a certain amount of contribution to some employees and a different contribution amount to other employees. It's my opinion that we just ought to be fair and give it straight across the board. So my recommendation is that we do.
What if they don't get the insurance through the school? Does that go, does?
It doesn't, it won't be, it won't mean
They
anything.
can't take that and apply it towards where they get their insurance?
No.
They can't.
No. And what we figured the cost based on is the amount of people who took insurance this year. I think we had 44 staff members. Again, Cammie, tell me if I'm wrong, that took insurance this year. Really, the number, the cost comes in at about 19,000. I'm saying 20 to 25 in case we have more that decide to take our insurance in the coming year. But again, with the money we're saving, not having to pay for online Spanish courses, we can pay for this.
I'll make a motion to approve regular agenda item D with increase the district health insurance contribution from $353 per month to $389 a month.
A second.
I've got a motion and a second. All those in favor, raise your hand. Passes 5-0. No, don't need to go into closed session.
Just future agenda items.
Let's go into our future agenda items. To set the budget and tax rate for 2026-2027 school year. Approve the EOP, student code of conduct, student handbook, and employee handbook for 26-27 school year. The board calendar, we've got the TREA conference, June 14th through the 17th. Regular board meeting, 7:13 at 6 p.m., 8:10 at 6 p.m., 9:14 at 6 p.m.
And 6 p.m. is still okay? Yes?
So far, I made it.
Any board member comments?
Good job running the meeting.
With that, I'll adjourn it.
You got a future to it.
Let's not get carried away. All right, thank you, everybody. Thank you all for coming. And you are welcome to come to the future ones if you want.
Did you adjourn?
Yep.
Thank you all for coming. If you ever have any questions, please call us. Swing by. We'll answer anything we can.
Is this the new boardroom now?
Yes, sir. It's multi-use, it's boardroom, it's DAP, it's ISS, it's credit recovery, you know, small school, whatever we need it to be.
I called Brent, because we were standing out in front of the hospital.
Yeah.
I called Brent, I said,
Where's the meeting at?
well, he said the whole
Van Hall?
band hall. I'm like, the whole band hall.
Yeah, that's that one over there.
We're too old. We're old. This is the new band hall.
I need y'all to sign that minutes and grab it.